Please rise and recite the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remain standing. We will recognize some of our community members who have recently passed away. Suzette Feldman, 90 years old, of Kendall Way. Fernando Sisto, 97 years old, of Kendall Way. Catherine Gallagher, 83 years old, of Kendall Way. Lillian Hogan, 86 years old, of Weber Avenue. And Carl Gerlank, 94 years old, of Tappan Avenue. Our thoughts are with their family and friends. Thank you, everybody. You may be seated. All right, first on the agenda tonight is a public hearing. Mrs. McCarthy-Tompkins, can you please read the notice?
Sure. Please take notice, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sleepy Hollow has called for a public hearing to be held on Tuesday, December 14th at 7 p.m. or shortly thereafter at Village Hall, 28 Beekman Avenue in Sleepy Hollow, New York, to hear and consider comments from members of the public on a proposed resolution entitled Resolution Relinquishing Any Right to Accept a Portion of Ridge Street for Dedication, and that the portion of Ridge Street to which the village seeks to relinquish is roughly 3,700 square foot rectangle that is perpendicular to Ridge Street, parallel to Gory Brook Road, and the entrance to 120 Gory Brook Road. Residents and taxpayers in the Village of Sleepy Hollow are entitled to attend and be heard at said hearing. Village Hall is accessible to all disabled persons. By order of the Board of Trustees, November 30th, 2021.
All right, thank you. Would anybody like to address the board on the issue of the public hearing? Okay, please step to the microphone in the center of the room. Yep, and just make sure you let us know your name and address.
Sure. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I'm Michael Gell, my wife Deborah Demansky. We live at 120 Gory Brook, and we did send you a letter that Mr. Giaccio, I believe, distributed to each of you. Just like to read it for the record, if I may.
Sure.
We're the owners of the properties at One Ridge, those are our neighbors, Mark and Jill, and 120 Gory Brook Road, respectively. The resolution to demap this portion of Ridge Street substantively impacts our two properties exclusively. We have agreed on an arrangement for the use and maintenance of the demapped area and respectfully request that the board approve the resolution without delay. So I believe that this resolution only affects our neighbors and us, and we're hoping that you can get it done as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you. Would anybody else like to address the board on the issue of the public hearing? No? All right.
Rochelle, I'd like to make a comment. Number
Of
one, I'm
course.
in favor, so regarding this demapping. But I believe we've heard from other residents, including a former trustee, who have brought up that there are other such parcels and streets around Sleepy Hollow that may need also to be demapped. And so I would just encourage the board and the village to take that up in the first quarter of next year.
Okay, absolutely. So what would everybody like to do? Would you like to close the oral comments and continue with written comments until our next meeting on December 21st? Is that okay?
I'd be fine closing the public hearing altogether.
And how long has this been in discussion?
I don't know, it's been a little while, I guess, right?
Probably a month or so.
Well, the public hearing was just open.
Yeah,
No, I
this
know.
was our
But I mean,
first.
it just in getting to this point, I
I would
just,
say two years.
okay, that's kind of what I'm.
But what is customary for this in terms of the public hearing?
It varies. Sometimes it would be closed tonight. and a resolution passed. Other times it would be closed tonight for oral comments, but would be left open for a week or 2 weeks for people to submit written comments in case they couldn't be here tonight. Other times, you know, there've been bigger things that have carried on week after week.
Mhm.
I do think that Mr. Gibbs correct that his parcel and one other parcel are the only two that could be affected by anything this board does. So I don't see any reason not to close it. By the same token, I don't see any reason I don't see any reason not to leave it open for written comment for 1 week.
So the only one thing I have a question of, because of the comment that you brought up, Tom, which is a great suggestion if we're doing it this one time and we're seeing what we're doing here, to look at other locations as well. So I would almost want to leave it open so that we can understand, you know, an impact of whatever precedent that might be occurring for any other property moving forward. You know, sometimes just in hindsight, I'd just like to take that as a consideration. Only because I want to make sure we're doing the right thing for, yeah, please, no, that, so it's the only, just to, you know, in more being,
One of the issues here, there are two issues here that differ from a typical paper street.
yes,
One, the village does not have any ownership, to our knowledge, of the property.
okay,
And two, the property's never been offered for dedication. And three, it is literally the front of a driveway
okay,
with the Gelb's neighbors on one side, Gelb's on the other, and the driveway to the Gelb's house. So the impacts of this are negligible,
okay. And
unlike some of the other streets.
that's,
Yeah.
that is why I wanted to just bring it up, just to, you know, since that was a point that was brought to the attention. And since Sean McCarthy was also copied on it, I see that you might want to bring in a comment, or?
Yes,
Yeah, please.
yeah, please.
I think that would be important. Thank you.
No, the only other thing I would like to add is that on behalf of the village and the DPW and the building department, we have confirmed that the village has no interest in this property,
Okay.
meaning there's no utilities, there's no need to provide access or any way. It won't affect any other future subdivisions, so
Okay.
really, this is unique in that way, that maybe on other paper streets, there might be other things that the village may need. In this particular case, there's no need.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. I mean, for that consideration, then I can see closing it as a,
You
that
want
would
to
be my
close
And we'll
it?
have a resolution for next week to approve. Is that right?
Potentially, yeah,
Well, no, it'd
no,
be
we
the-
can do it
no.
tonight, actually. If we close the public hearing tonight, then we could pass a resolution.
You have a written resolution?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I need a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second it.
All right, moved and seconded. Any discussion other than what we've already discussed?
I don't
No?
know. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Did you get a vote from?
Yeah, he raised his hand.
Oh, did he? Okay, great.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for the reminder.
Sean and Clinton, for the few additional comments.
Okay. All right, excellent. And we'll put that resolution on for, with our agenda for a little later in the evening. Next up on the agenda is the approval of the warrant. So, Sarah, do you have anything that you would like to say about the warrant?
Sure, I just wanted to note that there were 3 large items on this warrant that totaled $502,105.52. The first was our health insurance bill for January, which was $220,395.84. There was a bill for MTS infrastructure for our Continental Street Sewer Project in the amount of $160,076.93, and our workers' comp third install payment for New York State Municipal Workers' Comp Alliance in the amount of $121,632.75.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Sarah about the warrant?
No.
Move to approve the warrant of Tuesday, December 14th.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Sam says aye also. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
Ms. DiGiacomo. Up next, acting mayor announcements. So we have currently 35 active COVID cases in our community, and we have a vaccine clinic coming up on December 18th and also January 8th at the Sleepy Hollow Senior Center. You can go to the village website right on the homepage, and you can find information about that vaccine clinic. It's for first doses on the 18th, second doses on January 8th, and then booster shots on both of those dates. Also, there's a holiday toy drive being run by the PBA, and you can donate toys through December 20th. That information is also on the homepage of the village website. I believe you can donate toys to Village Hall here, including the police department, the fire department, and also the senior center. And then there is also a Cooking with the Community class happening tomorrow. Chef Renee Leon will be conducting this family event. It is from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Sleepy Hollow Senior Center at 55 Elm Street, and it's free. They do encourage you to call and make a reservation because space is limited. So you can contact Deanna Loha, who is our community liaison, at 914-438-7987, or you can email her at dloha@sleepyhollowny.org. And now we can move on to public comments. If anybody from the public would like to address the board, you have 3 minutes to do so, and now is the time to do that. And I'm not seeing anybody coming to the mic, so we can move on to our resolutions. So would somebody like to read the first resolution?
Sure.
Resolution 1, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sleepy Hollow to approve a request. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees does hereby approve a request from the Sleepy Hollow High School class of 2022 to hold a polar plunge on January 22nd, 2022 at 11 a.m. at Kingsland Point Park. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sam says aye also. All those opposed? All right, resolution passes. More power to them.
Yeah, I want to see if my daughter will do that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the second one. Resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sleepy Hollow to issue a temporary waiver of building permit fees for certain heat pump HVAC systems and certain home energy efficiency upgrades. Whereas the Village of Sleepy Hollow is collaborating with Sustainable Westchester and the villages of Tarrytown and Irvington to promote the adoption of efficient electric heat pumps. And whereas the adoption will be enhanced by reducing the costs associated with such upgrades, now therefore be it resolved to waive is that marked out all?
That's
Cross
all.
It's crossed out. To waive village building department mechanical permit fees associated with upgrades of existing home heating and cooling systems from fossil fuel-based technology to efficient electric heat pump systems for single homes, family homes, and be it further resolved that this waiver is effective immediately and shall expire May 31st, 2022. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I'm going to abstain from
You're
this.
going to
vote.
abstain? Okay. So noted. Yeah, it's okay. Sam's here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sam says aye. All those opposed or abstentions?
Abstain.
Jared abstains. All right, the resolution passes.
Okay, third resolution, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sleepy Hollow waiving building department permit fees for Lighthouse. Whereas the Village of Sleepy Hollow Village is collaborating with the County of Westchester County for improvement to the Sleepy Hollow Lighthouse. And whereas the village has historically waived building permit fees for the county and similar governmental bodies. And whereas village taxpayers are also county taxpayers, and whereas the Sleepy Hollow Lighthouse is a benefit to the community and work on it will further village purposes. Now therefore be it resolved that all village building department permit fees associated with the current contemplated work on the Sleepy Hollow Lighthouse are waived. And be it further resolved that this waiver is effective immediately and...
Period.
Period. All right, so I'm not reading the be it. Got it. Lighthouse are waived, period. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? All right, the resolution passes. And Clinton, you have that last resolution for us?
It's not the Sleepy Hollow Lighthouse, is that not
Sorry, I
the
can't
official?
understand what you're saying. We're gonna
Does
move
it
on.
matter in the resolution?
It's just how, yeah. Oh.
Does it
And
matter?
how much needs to be read?
I would read the entire
No. Oh my,
resolution.
how long is
It
it?
seems wrong as mayor that I have to read it.
But you always do it so well.
Yes. Wow, thank you, thank you.
It's like the
High praise.
organizational meetings, right?
Yeah, high praise.
You can make a trustee do it. That's what.
That's right, because you're sitting there. That's
I could. I think I'm gonna make Jared do it.
You want me to do it?
She's like a boss.
It's like the hot
She's
potato.
such a boss.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it. I'll do
Yeah.
it fast. Okay, ready?
Yeah, do it fast.
Ready? A resolution relinquishing a portion of Ridge Street. Whereas Michael Gelb and Deborah Demansky are occupants of 120 Gorybrook Road, 120 Gorybrook Residence in the Village of Sleepy Hollow, the Village. And whereas Mark Vaughn and Jill Perella are occupants of 1 Ridge Street, or 1 Ridge Residence in the Village. And whereas 120 Gorybrook Residence and 1 Ridge Residence have been disputing the ownership of their various rights in and to a roughly 3,750 square foot rectangle that is perpendicular to Ridge Street, parallel to Gorybrook Road, and the entrance to 120 Gorybrook Road as shown on Exhibit A, the property to be relinquished. And whereas the property to be relinquished is shown on various village maps and the village tax map as village property and an unimproved roadway, and whereas the village has reviewed its records and has found no evidence of village ownership, improvement, or maintenance of the property to be relinquished, and whereas the village wishes to relinquish all of the rights of the village, if any, to the property to be relinquished, including the right to accept dedication of it and to remove it from the official map of the village. And whereas the village board has reviewed the matter and consulted with its professional staff, and whereas the village board held a public hearing on relinquishment of the property to be relinquished on December 14th, 2021, and whereas the village board has determined that the property to be relinquished is not necessary for highway purposes and that it is in the best interest of the village to divest itself of any purported interest in the property to be relinquished. Now therefore be it resolved by the village board of the Village of Sleepy Hollow, Westchester County, New York as follows. 1, the village has not heretofore accepted dedication of the property to be relinquished. 2, the village hereby relinquishes all of its rights, if any, in and to the property to be relinquished, including the right to accept dedication of the property to be relinquished. 3, the village board directs that the village official map and the village tax map be revised to admit any village ownership of the property to be relinquished. Page 2. Number 4, the village board does not take any position with respect to the ownership of the property to be relinquished or any other impact. And 5, village staff are authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to effectuate this resolution. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, Sam says aye. Any opposed or abstentions? All right, the resolution passes. Thank you, Jared. All right, any old business or new business? Nope. Mrs. McCarthy Tompkins, any communications we need to know about?
No, I didn't receive anything, but I did want to announce that the village calendars will be mailed late this week. So you
Excellent.
should be getting it in the mail. If not, give us a call next week and we'll mail you.
All right, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. And the sanitation schedule, there's significant changes to it, so pay attention to that.
All right. All right, any comments from the public to the Board of Trustees at this time? I don't see anybody stepping forward. There is a request for an executive session. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a,
For
Personnel matter.
personnel.
make a
matter.
motion to enter executive session for a
Okay.
personnel matter.
Seconded. I'm sorry,
Seconded.
somebody seconded. So used to seconding. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sam says aye. Any opposed or abstentions? All right, I'm assuming that.
No action will be taken after.
You're stealing my thunder. Assuming that no action will be taken after the executive session, and we will adjourn with no further business being done.
Thank you.